So I did my presentation on trees, and here we go. So what is a tree? A definition of a tree is a woody plant that typically has a stem or a trunk at the bottom, and they grow branches and are a certain distance from the ground. I have a picture of it, as you can see right here. So there are two different ways you can think about this. People like to cut down trees while others, don't like to cut down trees. Well, first of all, trees are a very important thing on Earth because first they provide oxygen and food for people and animals, and we need that. So that's one reason why we should not cut down the trees. A good example of that is trees. They they convert like the carbon dioxide into food, and they store it in all their leaves and trunks and roots and etc. On the other hand, though, if you have too many trees, you can start to cause an issue for the environment, which is why sometimes cutting down trees can be a good thing. An example is too many trees in a forest can cause the forest to die out and become too crowded. So, for why we should cut down trees, I found an article from Michigan State University. They stated 10 reasons why we should cut down trees, but I picked 4 of their main big ones. So, a lot of us, you probably all use it at home. We need the wood for fires. We heat it up at our houses, in our fireplaces. We cook with it or anything like on fires. They're also removing the correct amount of trees from a woodland area can also help maintain like a forest health, which is a good reason for why to cut them down so they can just reproduce. It also encourages regeneration in future forests, like I just said. And it says, I found this thing that said lots of different trees have like different requirements for how much light they need, or soil, or water. It's all different depending on the tree. Also, there was another reason why was a managed forest produces higher quality and like a higher amount of ecological services such as soil quality, clean water, and nutrition. I found this pretty cool quote from the Michigan State University article that said, essentially, we get more stuff when we manage. Nature does not work for us, but we manage forests to work for us. So pretty much, we can't control how the forest works, but we can manage and put things in soils, or how much we put towards that forest, and it can help produce trees and how they work. Some other reasons why are, we need to build houses for us to sleep in, stores, and other buildings. And we also need land for agriculture uses for our crops. Also, as I said before, too many trees can cause a forest to die out and be too crowded. And a very popular thing is we cut down trees because we need paper. But now, since we're all 21st century kids, technology is kind of taking over and helping us use less paper. So, on the other side, why we should not cut down trees. So, trees, they provide pretty much a lot of our oxygen for us, animals, insects, any living creature on this earth. Trees provide a natural carbon storage. Even though carbon is a very unhealthy greenhouse gas, it's very good because when photosynthesis occurs, it helps the tree give off the oxygen, which is what we need. So the greenhouse effect can occur when greenhouse gases like water vapor, carbon dioxide, and methane get into the air, and that causes the air to hold more heat, which is very bad because that also causes climate change. So if you were to cut down so many trees, it can just cause a lot of climate change, like lots of rainstorms, and that's not normal sometimes. Trees, they provide a lot of nutrients for animals and insects, a lot of animals and insects feed off trees, example like bees with the flowers on a tree. They also offer shade for us and for animals and everything. They also, a cool fact I found was they help reduce air contamination by filtering it through their leaves and branches. So when a big wind comes, the air is getting filtered. They also soften wind strength and rain, and another reason is just cutting too many down can cause like global warming issues, which is never good. So I found this short 2-minute video about the life cycle of a tree. So because it's important to know, so I'll show you this real quick. Let me turn my volume on.
How many years does an oak tree live? 50? 150? 500? 1,000? An oak tree can live for more than 1,000 years and goes through many changes in its life cycle. Every oak tree starts life as an acorn. Each acorn contains just one seed. When a seed germinates, it produces a taproot. This will anchor the tree for the rest of its life. As spring arrives, the seed sends up a shoot. It pushes through the leaf litter, producing its first leaves for photosynthesis. The oak tree is now a seedling. Most oak trees won't produce a good crop of acorns until they are around 50 years old. Over the next 100 years, the young tree matures into a majestic adult. A mature tree can grow up to 45 meters tall and can spread almost as wide. At 700 years old, the oak has reached old age. It produces fewer acorns and only grows very slowly. At 1,000 years old, the oak is nearing the end of its life. Parts of the tree start to die. Over its lifespan, an oak tree can produce as many as 10 million acorns. Some of these will grow into a new generation of oak trees.
So that was a video. We go back to PowerPoint. So pretty much that video talked about, the life cycle of a tree, and I brought that up because even though I talked about reasons why you should cut down trees and why you shouldn't, that was important to show y'all, just the life cycle of it because we're talking about them. So I hope that helped. So pretty much what they were pretty much talking about was photosynthesis, as I brought up earlier. And photosynthesis is defined as the process by which green plants and some other organisms use sunlight to synthesize foods from carbon dioxide and water. So pretty much the green pigment on your leaves is the chlorophyll, and that helps generate oxygen as our byproduct from all of it. So lastly, some of the cool statistics I found by doing this presentation was there are about 1.6 billion trees that get planted every year in our world. There was a article that also stated that in the year 2018 there were 3.04 trillion trees in our world. I'm curious to find out how many there will be in 2019 now, but another fact was there was a research that says there are 15.3 billion trees that also get cut down every year. So you can see that you see how many get planted, and then we get to see how many get cut down. It's a drastic number. So finally, my last statistics I found was that there is a new study that also estimated that 46% of the world's trees have been cleared over the past 12,000 years, which you can sort of see through the numbers. And finally, we're excited. And yeah, that's my presentation.